Right, here's the one that genuinely threw me when I first understood it. A quartz watch keeps time by making a tiny sliver of crystal shake exactly 32,768 times a second, and that number is not random, it's mathematically perfect. We'll get to why. But first, 9 other everyday mechanisms hiding in plain sight, counting down to the cleverest thing you've never noticed. Let's go. Start with the humble zip, because nobody looks at it. Every zip has a little slider, and inside that slider is a Y-shaped channel. As you pull it up, the 2 rows of teeth are fed into the top of the Y and forced together at an angle, so each tooth's little hook drops into the hollow of the tooth opposite. Pull it down, the wedge splits them apart. That's it, no magnets, no electronics, just a shaped piece of metal exploiting geometry. Whitcomb-Judson patented it in 1893 and it barely sold. Took 30 years to catch on, speaking of things that grip without you noticing. A pin tumbler lot looks solid, but it's basically a stack of tiny broken pins. Inside the cylinder there are spring-loaded pins cut into 2 pieces at different heights. With no key, those cut points sit at random depths, jamming the cylinder so it can't turn. Slide the right key in and each ridge pushes its pin up exactly enough that every single cut line lands flush at the shear line, that hairline gap between the plug and the housing. All the brakes align, and the housing. All the brakes align, and the plug spins free. Miss by 0.5 millimeter on any one pin and nothing moves. Egyptians had a wooden version 4,000 years ago. Next, something in your pocket right now. That satisfying click on a retractable pen is a genuinely elegant little machine. Inside is a plunger with angled teeth, a rotating cam, and a barrel with slots of 2 different depths. Every time you press, the cam rotates a fixed amount and drops into either a deep slot, pen out, locked, or a shallow one. Pen retracted. Press, twist, drop, press, twist, drop. It never gets confused because the mechanism physically can't land anywhere else. Parker's design from the 1950s has barely changed. I clicked one apart on my desk once and honestly couldn't believe that much cleverness fit in a biro. And speaking of tiny precise motion, back to that quartz watch. Inside is a tiny fork of quartz crystal, and quartz is piezoelectric. Squeeze it and it makes a voltage, apply a voltage and it flexes. So the watch nudges it with a battery and it vibrates at a fantastically stable 32,768 times a second. Why that ugly number? Because it's 2 to the power of 15. A simple circuit halves the frequency 15 times, 15 flip-flops, and lands on exactly 1 clean pulse per second. No maths, just electronics halving over and over. That's why a £5 quartz watch keeps better time than a mechanical one costing thousands. Next, heat with no flame at all. An induction hob stays cool but boils water faster than gas, and it's basically witchcraft made of copper. Under the glass is a flat coil carrying alternating current at around 25,000 Hz. That creates a rapidly flipping magnetic field, and when you put a steel pan on top, the field induces swirling electric currents, eddy currents, right inside the pan's base. The pan's own resistance to those currents generates the heat. The pan is the heating element. That's why the glass barely warms and why it won't work with an aluminium pan. The metal has to be magnetic enough to trap the field. First one shown in 1933, it took decades to get affordable. Now something you flush without a thought. A toilet flush uses no pump and no electricity. It's pure physics called a siphon. The bowl connects to a curved pipe, the U-bend, that rises then falls. Normally water sits below the top of that curve. When you flush, you dump enough water in fast that it fills and overtops the bend. Once water spills over the top and starts falling down the far side, it drags the water behind it, and atmospheric pressure pushes the whole bowl empty in one continuous pull. That's the gurgle you hear. When air breaks the column, it stops, and the bowl refills to seal against sewer gas. Genius from 1775. Next, how your car turns corners without tearing itself apart. When a car turns, the outer wheel travels further than the inner wheel, so if they're locked to one axle, one has to skid. The differential fixes this beautifully. Power comes in and spins a cage carrying small spider gears. Going straight, those spiders don't rotate, both wheels spin equally. But in a turn, the slower inner wheel makes the spider gears start turning, and they feed that extra speed to the outer wheel. Automatically, mechanically, no sensors. The wheels are free to spin at different rates while still both being driven. It's from the 1820s originally, for steam carriages. Watch anyone's face when they finally get it. Now, keeping a room at one temperature. An old dial thermostat has no electronics at all. It runs on a bimetallic strip. That's 2 different metals, say brass and steel, bonded together in one strip. When it warms up, brass expands more than steel, so the strip is forced to curl toward the steel side. As the room heats, the strip bends until it physically breaks a contact and switches the heating off. Cools down, it straightens, contact closes, heating off. Often it's coiled into a spiral so tiny temperature changes make a visible sweep. The whole loop is just two metals disagreeing about how much to grow. And that same trick made your grandmother's oven work. Now waves that cook from the inside. Everyone says a microwave heats water molecules by vibration. Close, but the real bit is better. A device called a magnetron generates radio waves at 245 GHz. Water molecules are polar, they have a positive and negative end. That oscillating field flips them back and forth billions of times a second, and as they twist, they rub against neighboring molecules. Dielectric heating from friction essentially, from the inside. That's why it heats unevenly and why a plate warms only from the food touching it. And it was discovered by accident in 1945 when Percy Spencer stood near a radar set and a chocolate bar melted in his pocket. Now, number 1. Here it is. The 4-stroke engine, the thing that moves